wake up and it's the first thing we see. When we go to bed, it's the last thing we see. We are constantly being consumed by it, letting it control our daily lives. We can't go a minute without checking it every second. What is it, you may ask? Social media. Social media is not always good. It can affect you in ways that you don't even realize. I'm horrible when it comes to social media. I will watch TikTok or Instagram reels for a few minutes to relax and unwind before bed. The next thing I know, it's 3 in the morning. You may be thinking, I don't really care. I didn't think I did either until I took a week off of social media to see if it did anything. And it did. I felt more myself than I ever have. I felt happier, and I didn't feel the weight of being someone social media told me I should be. I also made it to work on time because I didn't stay up late on my phone. Did you know that an average American spends roughly 6 hours per day on their cell phones, and half of that time being spent on social media apps? This estimates roughly about 11 years of your life being spent looking down at a screen. Today I will be going over why we should limit our social media usage. First, I will cover why social media can be so addicting. Then I will talk about how detrimental it can be to our overall health. And lastly, I'll explain some solutions and ways to help overcome these problems. To begin, we'll probably wonder why social media can be so addicting. It has been found that being on social media makes your brain feel as if it's constantly being rewarded. As I was reading the Insider's article while researching this, I found something alarming. It stated that several employees at Apple, Google, and Facebook have warned that large tech companies deliberately design apps to be addicting. The logic is quite simple. The more time you spend on the app, the more profit it generates. So they try to maximize screen time, which leads to higher profit, regardless of the person's mental health. We are receiving dopamine, and it is increasing the secretion of that hormone being sent to the brain. Many who have this addiction may suffer from low self-esteem and even hyperactivity. The constant notifications, likes, and comments that we see on people's posts keep people coming back to social media. The feeling that you get of attention and satisfaction can lead to an even stronger addiction. So now that we know why social media can be so addicting, let's move on to how it can affect our mental and physical health. Social media can be detrimental to our overall health. According to Price Michael's article, in the past several years, more studies linked social media to poor mental health. Findings have suggested that people who limit their social media to 30 minutes a day feel significantly better than those who use social media for longer periods of time. By reducing time spent, people were able to reduce depression, anxiety, and even loneliness. We have created an unrealistic world on social media that is even hard for ourselves to keep up with. We are constantly striving to be perfect, which is unachievable and leaves many unhappy. We can be so consumed with our life online that we don't even seem to communicate with the people right in front of us. The pressure can lead to anxiety and even bigger rabbit holes than we initially thought. Our physical health can go hand in hand with our mental health. According to Physio Company's article, carpal tunnel syndrome is another example that we can see already. Constantly using our hands and extremely repetitive motions has led to a huge increase in the prevalence of carpal tunnel syndrome. A study published in 2015 found that, as well as carpal tunnel syndrome, smartphone overuse can cause thumb pain and medium nerve pain, which is also called palm pain, which restricts function and strength in the hand. After being on your cell phone for several hours, you can also notice an indentation in your pinky finger, or even a permanent indentation if you've been holding your cell phone the same way for several years. So now that we know about the damage social media can cause to our overall health, let's move on to some solutions to help overcome these problems. The first solution to these issues is setting your screen time to reduce your usage. We have several users such as Google Tools and Apple, which will allow you to monitor your screen time. With this, we can set an application which will gray out once your time is up. This will no longer allow you to use the app unless you change it in your settings. In your settings, you can also see a chart of how many times you open your phone, what apps you use, and how long you are on each app. We could also make a schedule of our free time so we do not overconsume in one certain thing. Before I conclude, I will summarize this speech. First, I told you about why social media is so addicting. Then I talked about how detrimental it can be to our overall health. And lastly, I discussed some solutions and ways to help overcome these problems. I hope you will take the reins and not let social media control your life. I would like to end this speech by asking you a simple question. How long of your life do you think you spent on social media to this day? References: 2011, June, Michael Price, American Psychological Association, Alone in a Crowd. 2017, February 28th, the Physio Company's article, Effect of Smartphone Use on Physical Health. Thank you for listening.